You,
It's yeah.
you became a robot.
Robot Man, played by Brandon Fraser.
Hey, don't be mean to Brendan Fraser. He's a good actor.
I'm not mean to Brendan Fraser. I actually love Brendan Fraser. It was me the whole time, guys. What? Oh, like anyone actually watches these.
I mean, yeah, you can do whatever kind of joke you want.
Yeah.
It's doesn't matter if it lands.
Look, people, I have said it before. I will say it again. I don't make this shit for you. I make it for me. If I like it, it goes up. If I don't like it, it ain't going up. That being said, if more people could actually leave some comments, that'd be really appreciated. I'm serious. Like the way I can gauge people's engagement with my content is purely through the comments. Likes are nice because it's like, hey, someone liked this. They're like, I arbitrarily clicked a button that says I like this. Subscribers mean nothing to me at this point because if they meant something, I'd have 8,000 views on every video, but I don't. So there you go. So yeah, for those of you who have made it this far into the video, which is mathematically less than half of you,
Welcome.
welcome. Leave a comment; it'd be appreciated. I usually respond. Uh, Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I got a shirt on.
Oh yeah, the
But it's more than that. Whoa, it's a thing that we have said.
it
I got
climbs.
to back up to make sure it gets in. Yes, I went out and made a shirt.
Yeah, he sent me one too. It's in the wash at the moment though, because I was wearing it earlier this week. So.
Oh, you
Yeah.
forgot. You forgot you're gonna film.
Well, no. He didn't tell me that he was gonna wear the thing, so I didn't
Oh.
wear it. Yeah.
I mean, that part I thought was assumed, but whatever. You know that you know what they say about assuming. So
It makes an ass out of you.
yes, and Ming,
Nah, poor
stupid
Ming.
Ming. Yes. So I made this lovely shirt at a place called Cali Customs. They make custom T-shirts, phone cases, wallets, I think, and face masks now, which is really useful. My friend is making a bunch of face masks and selling them at a reasonable price, I swear.
I mean,
Not scamming
it,
people.
I'm just saying this niche is gonna run out eventually.
So eventually, in like a year. Uh, but Cali Customs is a fantastic place. I would like to say not sponsored. I'm just giving them a shout out because they sat through the bullshit of having to find this fucking image of fun, and putting it on a goddamn shirt. It was not as easy as we all thought it would be.
Wow.
And if you want one, you can go out and make one. It's not hard. It's probably less expensive than trying to, buying it off the
You're
internet.
supposed to say we have merch and we'll sell it to you. You are the worst capitalist ever.
I'm a shitty capitalist. I'm sorry.
Probably because
It's
you're not a capitalist, aren't you?
not really. At the best of times, I'm a socialist, but like, I
Deject.
really don't. I really don't care for the whole capitalism system. But that's a topic for another time.
Yeah.
A video that's not called what this is called, whatever I will end up naming it. Um, but yeah, so if you do want it, like seriously, you can go out and make it at any custom T-shirt spot. Like this is a really it's literally just a picture and text. Like that's it. That's all it takes. It probably costs you like $20, which is less than what most YouTubers will charge you for their own merch.
Yeah.
Especially since it's merch that is almost entirely art that someone else has made.
Yeah, copyrighted.
It's definitely illegal to sell this kind of thing, but like no one really cares for some reason. People care when people aren't making money off of it, like with the abridged series, but people don't care when you do, like with their shirts.
Well, we also have to remember Araki has no place to like debate this, given that like he named the character off of a copyrighted thing already. So like it's only fair.
You are absolutely correct.
We take his copyrighted ideas and resell them in a repackaged method.
So yeah, if people want me to sell the shirt, I'll figure out how to do that and do it. I'm all for doing it. I'll just like make all the proceeds go to charity or something. Or again, you guys can go out and do it yourselves and send us a picture if you're gonna do that. Send us a picture of you wearing it. That would be friggin' awesome. Speaking of that, we actually received some fan art.
Really? Oh yeah, we did.
I never in my wildest dreams did I think we would that anything I created would get fan art.
We got stands.
But someone, I have to look up exactly. I'm very sorry. I don't remember the exact name, but I will put it up on the video right now. This is where you can find them. And here, right here, are the two pictures they sent us. They gave us 2 stands.
Our own unique stands.
These are fantastic designs. Like seriously, like someone just said, "Oh, I would love to make some stands for you guys," and we were just like, "Cool, awesome. Just send us what you make." And this art is just so fucking good. Like it's
very colorful. It's very on brand, honestly, for JoJo stuff.
Yeah, this looks like something that could be in JoJo's. It could be in a fan creation of JoJo's. Dude, your art's fucking amazing. Like it's super pretty. So thank you so much for that. If you would like to do that, send us art of some kind, and we will showcase it on the channel. Please do send it to me on Twitter. Is the easiest way to do that. Because John, you don't have a Twitter.
Yes.
So, yeah. Twitter is very easy for sending shit like this, especially since I don't have an Instagram.
Yeah. What is Instagram except Twitter without the extremists, political extremists?
I thought they have some on there.
Nah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you only like interact through pictures or whatever, so.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know how it works.
All right. So, with all that fun stuff done in the first 7.5 minutes, we have officially hit the point where most people are no longer watching. So, let's go on to talking about what's
y'all terrible YouTubers.
What are we doing moving forward?
You might have to be some heavy edges first round.
So let's talk about how terrible YouTube is. Fucking YouTube. Nah, just kidding. I mean, we can technically say that. It's not like YouTube is actively watching our content because we're not monetized.
Yeah.
Like, if we wanted to insult YouTube, we kind of can.
I'm not going to, though.
Have we done that already, though?
No, I mean, we did that one time with when I called them cuntpa, but that was only one time, so.
Oh, that's a federal law, though.
I mean, YouTube, federal government, what's the difference?
At this point, yeah. So what are we planning to do moving forward? I have a nice little itinerary here. So what I'd like to go over is schedule for the next couple months, actually, I have planned. And then we're gonna go on to part 5 stuff because the part 5 dub took a huge hiatus, like right as we recorded the last batch, and then started up again 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
convenient for us, but like
I mean, convenient and also not like unexpected given the pandemic. But
I mean, it was kind of obvious why it went on hiatus. They just couldn't get into the studio to record.
Yeah.
You know, that was being seen in the anime dubbing world for quite a while during the mid part of this pandemic. But you know, they've gotten into the hang of recording at home, and the recent episodes have sounded very good. So kudos to that. But again, we're going to talk about that after that. And then I want to talk about stuff going on at DC Comics, because they have released they're talking about a lot of shit. And goddamn it, I don't want to talk about it.
Making a lot of shit too. And I don't mean
Yes.
like I don't mean they have a large quantity of things. I mean they are quite literally creating a bunch of terrible things.
They're making a lot of good stuff, though. There's a lot of good stuff coming down the pipeline that I'm very excited for, and they're making a lot of horrible decisions. But that's to be expected from comics these days, sadly. Because I just quickly before we go over the schedule, I reread Heroes in Crisis recently. Why did I do that? All right, I know why. Because I wanted to remind myself what happened before the Atop the Fourth Wall video on it. And that was a mistake, because Heroes in Crisis was a mistake.
Look, it's honestly a lot. You'll be wasting less time if you just get all your comic information from Linkara. Like,
that's where I've gotten a lot of my comic information, but I still like reading comics for some reason.
I'm not going to stop you there. I'm just saying I don't understand why. It's not like they're good.
I mean, Marvel just finished up a nice little crossover event called Empire. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Joker War is not the worst thing I've ever seen. It really needs some direction to where it's going, but it's not terrible. All right, moving on. I want to talk about schedule, because right now, as we are recording this, it is the 14th of September. So this episode that we are recording right now, what you're hearing right this second, will be up when you're watching this, hopefully on Friday the 18th of September. And then the following week, we're going to have ourselves a little JoJo's meme that I've already made and come up with, actually from watching the recent episodes of the Part 5 dub. It's really fucking stupid, but I think it's funny. And then the next week starts October, and October is the spooky month. Spooky, scary. It's like a Halloween at the end. All gonna be watching horror movies pretty much every night.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
That's what I love doing. So obviously we're gonna do the scariest thing on on October 2nd. And put up a view. So obviously we're gonna do the scariest thing on October 2nd and put up the most terrifying video I can think of, which is ranking every president by how sexy they are.
You've shown me your tier list. I have the document for my notes for the one I'm going to be making in response to yours here.
So look forward to that.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be the first this is gonna be the first video I've uploaded onto my channel in months at this point, and it's specifically to derail and highlight my disagreements with this man on his choices when it comes to the physical attractiveness of presidents.
I made some controversial calls. Let's say that. I fully intended it to be the most controversial video I've ever uploaded. That was the intent going in.
Why
and you stand by what I said?
You did it during an election year too. Why?
Oh, that was part of the genius to do it during the election. By the way, this has nothing to do with our channel. Vote. If you're in the United States of America, if you're an American citizen, please vote. Seriously. I know both party candidates are kind of the shitty quality, but please vote. If you vote third party, I won't hate you. Just vote.
Yeah, because more than half of the people who can vote don't.
Yeah, that's the problem. If everyone voted, the political landscape would probably look at least different. I don't know if it would actually be effectively different, but it would look different. And that's something. So please register to vote. If you're not registered to vote, please vote. And if you don't vote, don't fucking complain. That's all I can say. If you don't vote, you didn't put in your say. So I don't know what you have to complain about. Sorry. Moving on. So then October 9th will be the next of these videos that we are going to be recording in this batch. Eventually, we'll get there. So that'll be that, which will be all about spooky times, horror themed shit. I mean, we'll definitely talk about JoJo stuff in there because I mean, JoJo's and horror go hand in hand.
I know. One of the worst experiences I've ever had was still seeing Giorno drink that pee.
Yes, horrifying. And then for the rest of October, 16th, the 16th and the 23rd, I don't have a like exact plan of what's going on. In fact, it would be real helpful, John, if we talked about this after we record this batch, because maybe one of us takes one of those weeks and the other one takes the other week, just to split the content up. Because for the 30th and 31st, I am going to be putting up a sort of little horror short film similar to what I did last year. Because that's
Monkeys boy.
Which is just I like doing that for Halloween, releasing a nice little horror short film. Just getting to make something more creative than I normally do.
Yeah, fair.
I don't have an exact plan of what it's gonna be next, but last year's was definitely more pseudo psychological. I think I'm gonna go more straight up a slasher film.
Yeah, it might be a good idea because a lot of people took those videos a bit too seriously and didn't stay along for the ride to get the big reveal.
Yeah, definitely big error on my part to not to make it seem too real, because I think some people thought that was my suicide note. And I swear I'm still alive. It's been almost a year since I made those, and I'm still here. And I mean, obviously, and a lot of people could tell it came from a place of truth, which I mean, I don't know if that's better or worse.
Yeah,
but that's where you have to write from. If you don't write from a place of truth, then you're not going to believe it when you say it. And though Monkey didn't really have like a solid script, it was what I like to call a fluid script, where it's just here's ideas for what each scene is going to be, just ad-lib it and come up with something, which works great when the only actor is pretty much just me.
Yeah, and some
Not so
people
great not so great when there's other people involved. I mean, the ending bit with I guess you could call him the main villain, played by Jake Stanton. Yeah, there was no script for that. He just came up with all that, and I think it was good. But thinking back, I was like, yeah, I probably should have wrote something for him to say.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be so weird. Because and I did actually want to talk a bit about doing the Doom Patrol shoot, because there's a lot of stuff that I just want to talk about, and I'm sure you have some want to talk about your experience doing this, because this was our first time doing something like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. So that is the entire month of October. November 6th, which will be after the election.
Oh, yeah, boy. So maybe give a live stream of your reactions.
I might do a little live stream on Tuesday night to talk about the election, if I really feel like it. If it's really, I mean, unless it's going as depressingly as the 2016 election was, because I pulled an all-nighter during that, and I was working on stuff and also watching the election results at the time, and god damn, that was a miserable night. But November 6th, we're gonna do the third episode of this batch of the podcast show, and that will be very, very JoJo's related. I have some topics, some of which were recommended in the comments by our viewers. Some of them that I have come up with. We're gonna do some more crazy JoJo's topics, because I know people like those. and they're always fun for us to do.
Yeah.
And then November has a Friday the 13th. I keep forgetting about that. November is getting a Friday the 13th. That's awesome. November 13th and 20th. The 13th will probably be something a little less editing because I'm probably going to be spending a good chunk of October editing stuff together. So there will probably be like a meme of some kind, something short, something sweet. And then the 20th, I'm shooting for to do something very different. We still have to figure out how we're doing this and if people really want to be on board with this. Because John, I pitched this to you, and you did not seem very enthused about it.
I can't even remember what you're
I want to do basically a game show is what I want to do.
Oh right, yeah, no. See, that's the thing. You said that to me. You gave me like the quick little rundown, and I immediately thought, "Oh shit, this is the Nostalgia Critics lights, camera, whatever."
That's what I actually thought. That was what was running through your mind, and I was like, "Ah, shit, maybe I should clarify." I am not doing what the Nostalgia Critic did. That show, as much as I enjoyed it when it came out,
it was cringe. I enjoyed it as a cringe
garbage show. That show is horrendous to watch, and I'm gonna have an actual prize. I swear.
Okay.
Fun fact about that show: he had to be convinced that there needed.
Oh
to
yeah,
be
no. He wasn't gonna do it originally, but like.
How do you do a fucking game show with no prize for the winner? Like, what's the point? Unless it's like
the point is to get more Kickstarter and Patreon money by saying you're going to make a game show if you reach a certain amount. You know,
you're right.
Because you also have to remember the game show only ran for as many episodes as was legally required by Kickstarter to not get investigated for fraud, and then was scrapped.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. So I promise not to do that. I promise if it goes well, there will be more, because I actually like doing game shows. I don't know if you remember, John, but I ran a few game shows for Quinnipiac Tonight, and those were kind of the best times I had in a live setting, just doing that kind of shit. And I want to celebrate the stupidity that is nerd culture, and just it's actually more like it's a college humor show. What's it called?
I don't watch College Humor, so I don't know.
Fuck. It was actually really good. Actually, that was the name of the show. It's not gonna
sound disgusting.
Well, it was a very simple show. So basically, the host would give a fact that something is wrong about the fact, and the contestants had to correct the fact. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be more of a straight up quiz show idea, split into a couple. I have ideas for how it would work, but I have to just figure out how to do it again remotely, and also how to record it correctly and how to make the audio sound good. So I gotta take a little bit of time to figure out how that's going to work before we do it, which is why I'm shooting for November 20th, because that's 2 months. That should give me enough time to figure it out. And then November 27th, the day after Thanksgiving, will be the last of this batch of the podcast stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do for December. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll think of something, undoubtedly.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's no guarantee of quality, but there is guarantee of something.
Well, there's never a guarantee of quality with us. Like, that's just I think that's been clearly stated. What is our catchphrase? High quality, high planning, great entertainment.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember my own quotes.
My goal, my honest, is to do a whole year without missing a single week's without missing a single upload per week.
Are you feeling a little because of the Saturday upload from?
No. So the Saturday upload actually didn't make me feel bad, because it was just something that was just taking so much to edit. But it is my baby, and I love that video, and it is my favorite video that I've ever put up. across all of my years doing YouTube and taking film classes. It's my favorite thing I've ever made.
Mhm.
Like, that's how happy I am with how it came out. And there are parts where I'm like, I could have done better here, or this could have been done better there. But overall, I'm very happy with it, so I don't mind that it came on Saturday. No, the video that went up 2 weeks ago, which was at like 11 o'clock at night, that's
yeah.
the was like, I couldn't come up with an idea all week. It was like Friday. I had not been able to think about it because work got hectic, and I was just fucking miserable. And my friend came over just to have dinner, and he was like, "Come on, get in the car." And I was like, "All right, fine." And we got in the car, and he starts blasting the Tetsuya song. I'm sure most of you don't know what that is. So there's a card game that is now dead, unfortunately, called Future Card Buddy Fight, which Jake and I absolutely loved. We played since it pretty much came out in America, and we played it till its death. Like we dropped it off a little bit near the end because the game was getting kind of shitty, which is why one of the reasons why it died. But we were just having all this nostalgia for it, and they made an anime of it because it's Japanese. So of course they made an anime of this card game.
The Japanese love their card game animes almost more than they love their slice of life schoolgirl animes.
Because Yu-Gi-Oh is still going. Like the show is still going. They're on their like 7th series.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being called Sevens, by the way. Like the series. But anyway, but there was this character in Buddy Fight the anime called Tetsuya, and his thing was like he was a dancer, but in English they also turned him into this weird like hip hop rapper.
Oh no!
It sounds cringe. It sounds cringe. He was, but he was the kind of cringe that was enjoyable to watch.
You sure about that?
No, seriously, because they didn't. He never overstayed his welcome. That's how you do cringe like that well. You don't. If you make it go on too long, then it sucks. Then it's annoying. But they took him off before it got annoying, and he was always entertaining. And he had the best theme in the show, which is why we're bopping to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing he does during his own theme is go yo 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 yo.
Yeah, that's not too bad. It's like,
yeah, he never did like his own freestyle rapping. So yeah, we all have fond memories of that, and we would go to tournaments for this game, and we would literally bring as big a speaker as we could find, and we would blast that song as we were entering the venue.
uh-huh.
I'm not joking. People would literally come up and dance with us. Like it's
Okay, that is actually very like reassuring.
That's how like we weren't considered weird for doing that. We were considered cool for doing that at these tournaments. He used to wear I gotta drag him a picture. He used to dress up as the main character of the show. Like it was like a homespun cosplay.
Did he have the hair? Did he have the hair?
Nah, unfortunately he didn't have the hair, which I mean I'll put up a picture of the main character of Buddy Fight. He had stupid hair. But he had everything else. He had the coat, he had the jacket, he had the hat, he had the flag. He looked good, and people loved him. He was very popular at these events. And we're only gonna get one more. Hopefully, maybe if this virus doesn't kill it. I don't know. But yeah, that's that. That's the schedule. Anything else before we move on to talking about Golden Wind? Anything you got to say?
Not really, no.
No. All right.
No.
Let's go to talking about Golden Wind because which is great because we only had 5 episodes since it came back till
That's
today.
actually a really manageable chunk of things, and in those 5 episodes was the dubs version of the 7-page Muda.
Yes, the dub version of the 7-page Muda came out. So the only thing that's happened is we did the Secco and Cioccolata fight, and we got to the very beginning of Silver Chariot Requiem, which, I mean, having rewatched it, I think I can safely say that this contains my favorite fight in the entire part.
As someone who has you told me about like Polnareff's return and like Silver Chariot getting an upgrade.
Yeah.
I was not expecting Silver Chariot Requiem to be that. It it is such a strange upgrade, like boost for him to have. I don't like because I'd always imagine like the point of a like the stand's upgrade or a Requiem stand would be to like amplify the powers of a stand in ways that make them more ridiculous. So like the idea being Golden Wind could like remove cause from effect or effect from cause or whatever the thing was is that it's an upgrade from his ability to basically create something from something else. It's basically like maybe the philosophy or something like that. I know that Fugo gets a Purple Haze Requiem or something, or Purple Haze Feedback. Something
No,
like.
I don't think Purple Haze Distortion is.
I've just been hearing. I don't know. I just don't know if Distortion. Honestly, I might have just been confusing Distortion with Requiem. But anyways.
Maybe. I actually don't know. I think it's up for debate.
That being said, I always kind of imagined, since Silver Chariot's thing was like being a high speed, high precision fighting stand, that it might be something like that. I didn't expect him to freaking make people, like, cause people to fall asleep, and then also cause them to think they were something else, and then also potentially make someone into someone else's stand?
So you basically got it, but like what you're gonna find out next episode is that everyone's souls have swapped.
Okay. That does not explain though how that's an upgrade of Silver Chariot's original power.
I'm going to explain it right now, because technically the Requiems, they're not really an upgrade. It's weird to say it like that, but it's more like the arrow grants the user exactly what they need in that specific circumstance.
Yeah, it feels too much like a MacGuffin.
Well, because it is. That's just what it is. I mean, it's always gonna be a MacGuffin. But in this case, Polnareff, the one thing he needs is to keep the arrow away from Diavolo. Like, that is the one thing he needs. So Silver Chariot Requiem is the perfect stand for completely keeping the arrow away from everyone.
Yeah, because it switches who everyone is.
Yeah,
with
no one even knows who they are. They have to figure out where they are, and by the time they do, the stand is like halfway across the room. Like, that's just how it's set up, and it gets trippy, and it gets weird. Don't worry about it. We're getting there. We're almost at the end. There's only, I think, 5 more episodes. I think.
Well then,
I'll put a thing in post. It's like how many episodes there are. But yeah, were you? I mean, poor Polnareff though.
I know he lost his fucking legs. He can't walk anymore.
I want to know, how the fuck did King Crimson knock his legs off? He just sort of pushes him and his legs pop off.
And it's even worse. He's lost control of Silver Chariot Requiem now. Like, Silver Chariot's become an antagonist.
Yeah, Silver Chariot Requiem just is it's a stand that can't be controlled. It's an independent stand.
That's sad though.
A little bit. And now he's gonna be stuck as a turtle for the rest of his life. Until Made in Heaven kills everyone.
Mr. President really came in clutch, I guess, as like a life support machine.
Right? That turtle was the best thing they ever picked up. Way more
Uh
than Fugo.
yeah. I still knowing that Fugo isn't going to be making a return at all, like for the rest of the part, has really made me like look at all these situations and think, wow, if Fugo showed up, he would actually be fighting against Giorno in the group, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I think that would have been a cool twist for the end, that the boss sends Fugo to go kill Bucciarati's group.
Oh.
I think that would have been awesome. But I guess not. I guess they didn't go with that. And so far I have not heard anything about Purple Haze feedback getting adapted. I think it should. I really hope it does, but I haven't heard anything about it just yet.
Hmm.
It would either be an OVA or like a movie, and I would love it to be a movie, because if it got played on the big screen, like, dude, that would be fucking awesome, right?
Epic.
That'd be
Yeah,
epic.
but would they risk like a theatrical release?
Well, right now, obviously, no. The answer is they would not.
Oh,
Do
well,
something
okay.
like that. Like in a
Not,
year
no,
or two.
I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking.
Oh, you meant.
I meant like ever since things like freaking the Digimon movie or whatever getting like theater releases and how much those bombed.
Well, so how anime film releases get done in America is they usually have limited releases and they're special events. So the ticket prices are higher to compensate for the fact that only like dedicated fans are gonna want to go see this. Like when I saw Black Butler Book of Atlantic in the theater, the ticket price was like $13 at a theater who's normally $11 per ticket. But what was awesome about that, completely unrelated to the movie, was they received the wrong
Oh
reels.
no! Oh no!
No, they still had the movie, but they had the English dub of the movie. We all paid for the sub version. So they gave us a free ticket to whatever we wanted. They gave everyone a ticket. It was beautiful. But like some people were actually happy about that because they didn't realize that they paid for the sub version. Like the two ladies who were sitting next to me. I like Black Butler. What can I say?
Yeah, I don't understand why.
I don't know why you don't understand why. It's Batman, but instead of becoming Batman, Bruce Wayne made a deal with the devil. That's awesome.
Anyways, we're supposed to be talking about JoJo, weren't we?
Right, we're supposed to be talking about judges. So we kind of completely skipped over the Cioccolata and Secco fight, which is fine because, like, I mean, we're right on the start of the climax, and it's like, yeah, we want to talk about the Silver Chariot Requiem and why that makes or doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But Secco and Cioccolata, I mean, they're two of my favorite minor antagonists in all of JoJo's. I mean, I think I've said before that Secco is my favorite minor antagonist. Definitely of this part, he is my favorite. I love his design. I love his personality. I love his stand. I think Oasis is freaking cool. If not a little disgusting, but really cool.
I mean, disgusting can be still like really fun, though. I will say, yeah, no, Cioccolata is he is like textbook in how to make like a complete bastard of a minor anti. Like he's basically Dolores Umbridge of JoJo. Now that I think about it, he's not the main antagonist, but people hate. I would not be surprised if people hated him more than they hated Diavolo in this part.
He is a lot like Umbridge if she was actually a sociopathic killer.
Well, no, she was during the well, no, when she took over the ministry, like quite literally, her job was to take Muggle-born wizards or like half-bloods, whatever they were called.
Yeah, but she didn't, like straight up she didn't straight up kill them. She sicked Dementors on them, which is different than Cioccolata literally slicing people open to see how it works.
Well, that's the other thing though. She six Dementors on them. She gives them a fate worse than death. She like has their soul get sucked out of their body. I'm just saying, like, you're kind of like comparing apples to oranges in this situation.
I guess, but I always thought that was a little sus that is a fate worse than death. But like, all right, whatever.
I'm just going along with what the stories are talking about. But no, definitely Cioccolata, like taking perfectly healthy people and like telling their family that they're sick, then using a stand, something most people can't see, to make them look more sick, so he can like have his own like weird, creepy experiments and then just kill them outright. That is,
it's disturbing.
It is. It's like.
What he says to the elderly people, he volunteered at an elderly hospital and literally pushes them around going, your family hates you. They never want to see you again. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
And then he's like growing mushrooms in their lungs and shit. And
oh my god, he's insane. And what I think I love most about Secco is that they never tell us exactly what Cioccolata did to him. All they say is that he was his patient, but we know that he does horrible things to his patients. What the fuck did he do to Secco?
Do you think maybe in some weird way Cioccolata activated his stand and that ruined his life in some way?
It's possible. I've
actually been thinking. Is Secco technically like Cioccolata's like is Secco to Cioccolata what Rapunzel was to Mother Gothel in a weird way? Because like he does that weird thing where he hugs Secco and is like babying him, kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. He treats him like a dog is what he treats him like a good dog, like he loves his dog, not like he hates his dog. But it's still weird to treat a human like that. That's why it's strange to say. But he wants those sugar cubes.
Yeah, and he's got it. It's weird. It's weird.
So, as we all know, I like to compare the voices because I've watched the original Japanese. And for both these, I'm gonna say right now, for both these characters, I prefer the Japanese version. Which shouldn't come as that big a surprise. I mean, I think most fans would agree that the Japanese usually sounds better. Just for most people. Cioccolata's voice didn't really do it for me. When he's like making these more elegant doctor-like speeches, he sounds really good. But when he's supposed to be doing the more psychotic sides of Cioccolata, it doesn't. I don't know. It didn't go to. It's not like I don't think the voice is bad. I think it was actually a good idea to go for a more deeper octave for him, and I like that. It just didn't go all the way for me. But not a bad voice. I will say. I looked it up. The guy's name is Bill Butts. I'm not joking. His name is Bill Butts. And I'm going to throw up a picture of him because he looks like a man who belongs in JoJo's. He is ripped. He is ripped, man. Bill Butts is awesome looking. It's just such an odd choice to give him Cioccolata, is all I'm trying to say. And then Secco, the guy who played Secco did a good job. I mean, it's not like a very difficult character to do, I think.
You basically just have to growl and like.
Yeah. I did notice this, and I had to look it up as soon as I kind of heard it. He is played by the same voice actor who played English Alibaba in Magi.
I don't watch that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Magi is a fantastic show, which takes characters and settings from 1001 Arabian Nights and animates them.
No, it's actually that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite series. I think Netflix owns the exclusive rights to it because they got the the spin-off series about Sinbad is exclusive to them. Alibaba is one of the main characters, and it definitely sounds weird to hear a similar voice come out of Secco, but I kind of liked it. Because Alibaba has gone through some psychotic moments in Magi, so I appreciated that. But obviously it's not the same voice. It's different. It's the same actor, but doing a different character.
Different voice,
And
yeah.
we don't conflate characters like that on this show. We're not stupid, but we do like to compare.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had the mold. The mold killed a lot of people. That was fun.
Yeah. The mold instead of, fucking Green Day.
It's green tea. Green tea.
How does that even work? Couldn't they have done couldn't they have found another way to do it properly? I don't like Jade Dusk, he's supposed to make people die and he's green. I don't know.
No, it was green tea. I don't know.
Green tea. Is the only thing I could think of it doing is he tries to say the only way I can think of it being clever would be if the way Cioccolata activates his stand is that the person has to be willing and has to willingly accept whatever green tea does to it. So he always says, "Would you like some green tea?" And making people think I'm going to give you a drink, and they say, "Oh yes, of course." But no, he gives them the stand that kills them slowly.
That's actually just a cool idea for a stand in general. I like that.
Yeah, I know, but what green tea
and sanctuary. If that gives you any hints on what my my meme that's coming out next week is gonna be,
you're gonna
spoilers. It's gonna be about sanctuary.
It's gonna be frickin' Hunchback, isn't it?
Yup. I told you it was dumb.
Yeah, but it's different breeds of dumb.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's their fault for shouting sanctuary like that. I can't help myself. It's like whenever a character says that they're a beekeeper, it's like, well, now I got to do that joke. Can't help it.
Yeah, it's running gags for you.
Okay, that one is my only actual running gag so far, because I've done it 3 times.
Yeah,
and I'm happy with that because that's just a running gag in my real life. So yeah, Oasis is a really cool stand. You swim. But yeah, before we get to that part of the fight. Cioccolata versus Giorno and Mista is a fun little bit. It's really what it boils down to. It's a really good use of gold experience.
Yeah, I will say it's probably the best use of gold experience I've seen so far. It's been feeling like Giorno gets kind of pushed into the background recently, and the extent of gold experience hasn't really been able to shine, especially when compared to frickin' Mista and Little Bomber. Those guys usually and that's the weird part. I like Mista a lot. I consider him to be the Joe Bro of this part, despite how that sounds, despite the debates on that kind of period. But that being said,
I agree. He is.
I do kind of feel like Sex Pistols is not particularly creative as a stand, because it's basically just bullet redirection, which is it's Emperor with more parts, because it's not just you control the bullets. It's you have little things kick the bullets the other directions. So you think it's possible that Mista is just Araki making up for not making Whole Horse a Crusader?
It's entirely possible. I mean, he did have the idea to make Whole Horse part of the group.
Yeah,
and he just didn't do it.
What I am trying to say, I like Mista a lot. I'm just saying, when Gold Experience was advertised as being Car's ability after absorbing the Redstone of Asia, it feels like it's not being utilized to its full extent.
No, not at all. It really just gets ignored. I mean, Giorno kind of gets ignored for a good chunk of part 5. I was gonna say unfortunately, and it kind of is unfortunate, but like
It's unfortunate in that time could have been, that was like precious time that could have been used to characterize him a lot more.
Yes, there you
Because
go. That's why.
By this point in the story, you said that like Diavolo is just around the corner.
Mhm.
Well, the main antagonist is just around the corner. Beating him is going to be the end of the part. And I feel like Giorno is probably one of the more bland JoJo's we've had.
Mm-hmm.
Like by this point, I've known Josuke enough to know that he's got a merciful heart, but at the same time is also a pretty standard high school student who likes he's a bit of a spendthrift and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jotaro was stoic as fuck, but deep down cared about his family above all else. Joseph was just brimming with absolute chaos and troll energy by this point, and even Jonathan, despite hating the dude, he still had the whole like classic chivalrous hero going for him at this point in time. Giorno, I know his goal. I know he wants to be a gang star, and I know why, but I don't know him.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it. You don't know anything really about Giorno.
I feel like, you want to know what's weird? I feel like the thing that would have made Giorno probably the most interesting, if not one of the more interesting JoJo's, was a victim of Araki Forgot, in that his relation to Dio. Dio is like the main antagonist of the entire JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series, and he is Giorno's blood father.
Mm-hmm.
And he, in a weird way, Giorno kind of idolizes him, mostly because he doesn't know him, or he's got this, he's kind of got like that loop view of Vader, where at first he kind of hates him, but once he discovers it's his father, he kind of meshes who Vader is with who he knew Anakin to be. And I just feel like we don't get any JoJo's in this part to like clash with his view of Dio. We just get Polnareff and
Koichi.
Koichi. For some reason, I thought Okuyasu was at the. That'd
be funny. That'd be funny though.
That would have been funny. But yeah, no.
That'd be really weird.
Yeah.
Jotaro sends Okuyasu to go find.
Yeah, like Jotaro. This is one of the only parts Jotaro doesn't show up in, and it would have been. It would have been
cameo.
He makes a cameo at the start, sending Koichi to Italy to go meet Giorno. I feel like it would have been a lot more interesting for Jotaro to go find Giorno himself, and in a weird way be not a mentor, but sort of like an antagonist towards him, as sort of like a mirror or like a contrary view to him for who he was for Jotaro, like just a part earlier.
I agree, and that would have made Polnareff's inclusion actually more interesting. I mean, Polnareff's inclusion is more of like, surprise, Polnareff is here. It's like, whoa, hey, what are you doing here? But like, if Jotaro was there and they got to reunite after exactly what happened to Polnareff, he literally disappeared. Like, presumably he's been gone for years and no one has known where he was, and yet Jotaro shows no interest in trying to find him. Just assumes he's dead.
Yeah,
I think that goes against his character. Actually, I think he really should care a lot more.
He kept the Stardust Crusaders picture with him, even when he moved on with his life and became a marine biologist and that kind of stuff. So like, and at this point in time, Polnareff was like the only other member of the Crusaders who wasn't either dead or like senile to the point of like unaware of his surroundings. He was like the only person who Jotaro could have reliably like talked about the events of part 3 with, and like relived them, or like gotten some therapy about them with.
Yes.
And they don't do it. But yeah, no, going back to Giorno in this, like, yeah, it feels like the thing that was supposed to be the crux of his character, the thing that was supposed to make him unique and interesting this time around, was just not used. And just fell by the wayside. in return for the Bucciarati group trying to fight Diavolo to save Trish.
Yeah. They have the interesting story, and Giorno is just there for the ride. Is just
He's there to make it a JoJo bizarre adventure.
Yeah. Without him, it's just a bizarre adventure. It's not JoJo's bizarre. But it does get the 7-page Muda. I think they fucked up the weird.
And I will say, I've seen the sub version just because, you know, even as someone who doesn't really like subs, something like that with that much prestige, you kind of look it up. And I gotta say, the dub lived up to it, in my opinion. I don't know if it lived up in your opinion.
It was until they got to the weary, which is I think the most important part of the 7-page Muda, where it's Muda, and then all of a sudden it just breaks into this scream of weary, and it's just it sends shivers down my spine every time I listen to it, and I've listened to it like over 20 times at least, and it still gets me every time. But this one was just so lackluster on that part, and it brings the whole thing down. Is what I mean. Everything, all the Mudas, 6 pages of that were really solid, and they fucked up 1 page. But that was the best page.
It didn't really sound like a re. It sounded more like just like a roar of anger.
Yeah, it's just it just doesn't sound right. I mean, I have a couple of theories to why it sounds like this. I mean, it could be that the voice actor received this line, was like, I'm not sure how that's supposed to sound, and no one helped him on this. Or he gave several takes. One of them was that, and someone thought, hey, that sounds the best take. We'll just put it in there. Or it could have been a time constraint thing. They could only do 1 take of it, because, I mean, these kind of takes with anime takes, they take so much out of your vocals. You hear stories about people working on Dragon Ball screaming until they almost pass out or pass out.
I remember a funny story where Travis Willingham got a call from Laura Bailey, dating at the time, wife now, where she was doing Lust's death from Full Metal Alchemist, and just the screams. It was just the screams of her like dying, and she called him up, and she like sounded hoarse. Like he said that she sounded like she'd lost her voice. He thought that she was calling him to say that she had laryngitis and couldn't do the scene she was supposed to do, but no, it was to just say, I just got done getting killed by you, you ass. So yeah, like you gotta imagine a read like that.
I'm sure he did it once. It might have even just shot his vocals, and they were like, well, we don't have time to do another one. We don't have time to wait and do another one, because they were already behind schedule. Like with the pandemic thing, they had to have a big hiatus because they were behind schedule. So that's just my theory. If any of those are right, feel free to tell us. I'm accepting of all reasons to why it just doesn't sound quite right to me. And if it sounds good to you, like, more power to you. That's fine. This is just subjective. It just is.
The start and the end of a scene like that has to be the strongest. So if either one of those kind of just get you the wrong way, it ruins the whole experience.
Yeah. And then there's the Secco Bucciarati fight, which I kind of said earlier, but I'm gonna say it again more definitively. I think that's my favorite one-on-one fight in the entire part. I love how that looks. I love how it's paced. I love the strategies that both men use. I love how much it destroys their bodies by the end. I love it.
It is really interesting to see their powers like play off one another, given that Zipper Man like intentionally opens up portals in between reality, or like in between solid objects, and Secco swims through solid objects. So
yeah.
Like
I do have to clarify. I think he liquefies solid objects. He liquefies anything. He just liquefies that shit, and I just love the amount of variations on that Araki comes up with in just this one fight. It's really kind of short if you think about it. It's one episode, really. But he comes up with all of these different variations to how this technique works.
Mm.
And it's so much fun to watch. And it really is just a chess match between the two, trying to outsmart each other and trying to come out on top before they deal the finishing blow. And putting Doppio in at the end, genius play. Absolutely genius. Dragging him in because no one knows who he is yet, except for the audience. The audience is the only ones who knows who that guy is. Everyone else is just some random bystander. And you go, oh fuck, wait, what? Now this is happening, and it just seamlessly goes right into bringing us to Silver Chariot Requiem, because it's just so smooth, and that's probably why I love it so much. Oh,
I also can appreciate how clever Secco is, despite his very clear disability or kind of messed up brain, where he can't verbally communicate with anyone. You don't know if that was like a result of his patient time, if that was a result of if he's just selectively mute or whatever. But I do think it's very interesting that I think JoJo is one of the only pieces of media that would depict a character with that sort of either disability, divergency, whatever you want to call it, as just as or even more clever than the completely typical people, especially someone like Bucciarati, who is the leader of this group.
Mm-hmm. Bucciarati is the smartest member of the team, of the part.
Oh, I mean, hell yeah, he is.
He is getting countered.
When you're compared
I mean, you're right.
So, freaking Giorno, you're like, yeah, the bar's not that high.
But I mean, Fuga. Oh, right, Fuga doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's not here.
Tears. I don't.
He's got one guy who he's comparing himself to on this team, and the guy they're comparing himself to is an ex-cop, so his mind is always distracted. So,
it's so good. We've definitely talked about this longer than I expected us to, which is great because that's great that we go on longer than that. But yeah, that completely catches us up in the dub for now. By the time we film another batch, the show's gonna be over. It just will be. I think, like I said, I think there's only 5 or 6 more episodes. I forget how many episodes it is to the epilogue, but the epilogue is 2 episodes.
Yep.
So I think it's 5 or 6 episodes. So I mean, obviously, we're not going to be filming another one of these for at least 3 months.
Yeah.
So the show will be, and we can sum it up by then, which is great.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll move on to the last topic for this episode. I know this episode's getting really long, but
it's over an hour already. You're gonna have editing.
I'm to this part anyway. Oh, these I don't really edit that much. It's more of I just put in some visuals if need be, and I just chop out the parts that are really bad sounding. It's really easy, which is why I don't mind doing these really quickly. So yeah, DC Comics. We talked about that at the beginning of the episode a little bit, and we're going to go back to talking about it now because they just had their Fandom event, which is they're essentially a free online con. They did a free online convention.
That is honestly, I would have assumed a company who was doing better financially to do something like that.
Right,
DC Comics.
DC is dying. Sad but true. As a huge fan, I hate what is happening there, and I blame more of it on their owners than the actual people at charge. Although the people in charge are making some pretty bad calls, at least on the comics ends. A lot of other ends they're actually making some really good calls, but I kind of blame AT&T more than the people in DC. Because that's where the money is coming from.
I'm gonna be real with you. DC Animated is the only branch of the company that I have always had trust in, and that I've never doubted the quality or the intention of. as far as I'm concerned, every other branch of that company could probably just be run by like mustache twirling. You know that one. You know that one character who's like, "We've got to have money."
Yeah, movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like DC, like every other branch of DC could be that, as far as I'm concerned.
That's why they keep letting Frank Miller write comics.
I know. That's why they keep doing that. And also, they're owned by Warner Brothers, and Warner Media is like, of the big six, it's like in the lower half.
Let's open that can of worms right now. Because none of us want jobs working for any of the big media companies, I guess.
What are they gonna do? Hey, it's a pandemic at the moment. I don't have to care. The entertainment industry isn't hiring people right now.
No, they're not. I wish they were. But yeah, they announced a lot of cool stuff at the Fandom. So there was 2 days. There was the live event, which was on August 22nd, and then the not live event, which was last Saturday. I totally forgot that was happening last Saturday, and I didn't. I mean, I got to do it. I did what it was, and I'm just very glad that it wasn't live, so I didn't actually miss anything important. But both of them were only 24 hours only. So the first one I watched basically the entire live stream. So I saw pretty much everything they had to offer. I skipped out on a couple of things and a couple of panels, namely the Snyder Cut panel. I actively avoided it.
You hate that thing, don't you? You've hated that thing since Justice League came out. You hate it now.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be brief on this, so I don't. If you like the Snyder movies, good for you. I don't. I don't like any of them. I don't like how they're shot. I don't like how they're written. I really don't like how they're acted either. I don't like them. I don't think that he's gonna make Justice League better. I don't think anything could make the Justice League movie better. I don't think it was possible. I'm sorry. I think they should just throw it out and try again. And they kind of are. I mean, they're doing a Flash movie with Ezra Miller, but they're talking about making a Flashpoint. So they're already trying to
do everything. Like, just take it and.
That's what Flashpoint is. Just take everything, get rid of it. Doesn't matter anymore.
Just start all over. Start all over without Ben Affleck as Batman. You can start all over without like the events of Man of Steel happening. Like the one thing they probably shouldn't start all over was having the current Wonder Woman continuity.
The Wonder Woman movie, fantastically done. And I'll tell you why, because it had fucking color in it.
Yeah, it really did.
Shoot in black and white. Why? Because he hates color. So why doesn't he shoot in black and white?
No, look. It goes into this whole thing where he's an objectivist. He like you remember Mr. A by Steve Ditko? I wouldn't be surprised if he really just wants to do a bunch of Mr. A movies. So he has to like follow the principles of there is darkness and there is whiteness with like a non-existent line in between them. So that's why he's always making movies that are really dark and black and white.
Dark. They just have no color. It's bright. It's a superhero movie. God damn it. I will always disagree with him on that. But again, and I don't want to talk about Snyder anymore. I will probably talk about the Snyder Cut when it comes out. I promise you that. I will give my opinions on it when it comes out, good or bad. If it's good, I will praise it. If it is good, I will praise it. I don't have no problem doing that. I just don't expect it to be good. So that's actually quite good for it, because if it surpasses my expectations of nothing,
there's nowhere to go but up.
Right. I don't think it could get worse. That's a cocky thing to say, but I don't think it can get worse. So I don't want to talk about Snyder. I don't want to piss off his fans. Again, if you like his movies, more power to you. Great. I'm I'm all for people enjoying all kinds of arts. His movies aren't offensive. I mean, I disagree with most of his decisions, but they're not offensive. So, if you like him, go ahead. I'm gonna stick to the movies I like. And you know what I do like? James Gunn. The Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have ever been more excited for a superhero movie until this.
Are you only saying that because this will be like the first DC Comics with zero like relation to the Joker, including Suicide Squad? Because it's a redo of Suicide Squad, or like it's bringing Suicide Squad back, but this time without Joker.
Well, I actually don't know how the story's going to play out because they have a lot of people returning to their roles. Like it's the same people playing Amanda Waller, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, and Rick Flag. Same people from the David Ayers movie. So I'm wondering if there's going to be nods to that. I don't know. All I know is that I'm looking at this roster of characters.
Will Smith comes back for a quick cameo.
If he does, that'd be really funny. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be down. I mean, this roster of characters. I mean, these are characters that I never in a million years would have guessed would get on the big screen. Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man. Yes. Hell yes.
They're all gonna get better treatment than fucking what was his name? Rip Snarl? What was it? Like the one from the first one who got his head blown up. I can't remember his name.
The guy with the climbing equipment.
Yeah, the guy who climbs. The guy who climbs.
I don't remember. It's the guy who climbs. It climbs. Yeah, they got Ratcatcher. They got King Shark.
I love King Shark so much. I've loved him ever since I saw him on Harley Quinn the show.
Oh, I've loved him longer than that, but he was great in Harley Quinn the show. He was fantastic.
I knew him. I've only ever known him in Harley Quinn the show and the one animated Suicide Squad movie, where
Assault on Arkham, the really good one.
Yeah, the Arkham. Yeah. And also the Suicide Squad. They're getting their own video game too, with basically these characters. Like I am so curious what they're doing with Captain Boomerang in the video game. It looks like they're giving him teleportation powers with the boomerang.
Yeah, they're giving a teleporting boomerang.
Oh, and weirdly enough, it looks like
problem with it.
It looks like they're giving him like the Flash's kind of ability, where like it's lightning zooming by as he transports.
I think that might just be a particle effect, but maybe it is. I don't know.
I mean, it would be an in-game justification for why he can suddenly do that, given that his shtick this whole time was literally just throwing boomerangs.
Well, he has like different kinds of boomerangs. He's an inventor of varying boomerang tools. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. My only problem is it looked like they gave him a gun, which is like, that seems like a no-no.
I don't see why not. He's like a scummy kind of guy. I imagine he'd grab a gun if he needed one.
But he has boomerangs.
You gotta vary up your things, is what I'm saying. Batman has batarangs, but he still has his grappling hook.
I guess. I like that they gave Deadshot a jetpack. That was cool.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of fun. I hope it is a lot of fun. We're not gonna get to play it for another 2 years, but
yeah, but I'm hoping they can work on the graphics more too, because even with the teaser, like those things, I know it was cinematic, but
yeah,
it looked like I haven't seen like character designs that well or character details that well since Injustice 2.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping they keep it up with that kind of graphic standard.
It look good. It look good. I'm very excited for that. Coming up next year, though, is another video game. We got Gotham Knights. Which, I mean,
going back to the Gotham series, are we?
No, that's Arkham you're thinking of. I mean, it basically is just like the spiritual successor to the Arkham series.
It is.
But it looks more fun than Arkham does. I mean, Arkham was like, oh, that's cool. You can actually do a game where I hate to say this, but you feel like Batman. Because, I mean, that was the intent. But this is actually like, oh, this is taking all the good stuff from the Arkham games and adding combat that isn't pressing one button. It
Yeah,
actually,
that's
it's
like
like
flips
it actually makes you want to engage in combat. Oh,
Well,
what
that's the point. Batman doesn't want to engage in combat. He doesn't want to hurt people. He just does it
Yeah.
for justice.
Fine, but Jason Todd does.
Yeah,
Jason Todd wants to murder
Jason
people.
Todd loves combat. Jason Todd loves killing people too.
I'm so glad they gave Jason Todd a role in that. I mean, I'm hoping that I don't want to like encourage people to do companies to do DLC, but I'm kind of hoping there's DLC characters like higher kits, like perhaps
Like
Azrael,
Cassandra. I'd want Cassandra as a
yeah, Orphan. Uh,
you could basically get Batman International involved in a DLC kind of thing.
That would be really fun.
They do the those Batman from the negative universes. What was it like the seven Batman who were all
worlds?
Yeah, like the Batman who laughs.
Oh no, those are the Dark Knights, Dark Knight Metals.
Right, yeah. The War Machine, the Batman who became Ares and all that shit.
That would be a cool inclusion in the game. It just has like villains as well, because they teased that Court of Owls was going to be a big part of it, but they said that was only going to be the tip of the iceberg, which gets me really excited as a fan. So I'm hoping there's shit like that. Where it's
just glad that the end game this time around isn't going to be the fucking Joker. Look, I
love this Joker, but like
I will be the first to admit I am a Joker fanboy.
Same.
They're using Joker way too much in these DC things.
Yep.
Like forget Batman. They're using Joker way too much.
I agree wholeheartedly. I vary it up. He has other villains that are on par. On par. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I understand like the philosophy of the Joker is what makes him the most interesting. Like he's got that going for him more than most characters, but there are plenty of characters you could make have an interesting philosophy. Like take like Parasites from Superman and give us like something like that. Like give us Metallo or Cyber Superman. Like characters who they're evil, but like they got a philosophical blank slate going. You could play around with their justifications and stuff like that.
I mean, I want like Two-Face as a main enemy, or like kind of going a little obscure, Mad Hatter.
Well, that's not really obscure. I like Mad Hatter as Calendar Man has a main
Calendar Man. When my Calendar Man is main villain. That's never happening.
Like just so long as they do things that aren't fucking Gotham High, I'll be fine.
Yes. Don't do that.
I've read some of Gotham High.
Oh God, why? Why did you do that to yourself?
I do that because I love the cringe. And let me tell you, Gotham High is a buffet of cringe, the likes of which I have rarely seen. I will say there's only one thing that has actually pissed me off. Like, I enjoy, like, the depiction of high school from someone who, for all we know, has never experienced high school outside of Status Quo from High School Musical and the Heathers musical. Like, that's delicious. That's delicious. The thing that pisses me off was they played poker, and I'm pretty sure the writer has never seen poker before.
Oh no!
Let alone, like, you want to know? I won't go into complete details, but I'll just tell you, they had 5 cards in their hand, and the skill of a character was depicted as having more having a full house of better clubs. So the Joker character had 4 of a kind of Joker cards, and the Batman character had 4 of a kind of King cards, and to like beat them both, Catwoman had 4 of a kind of aces. And I'm like, Statistically, that's impossible.
How the fuck?
I've got 5 aces. What have you got, sir?
I've got 6 aces, sir.
Also, none of you bet anything. This single round of betting. How did any of you win? And that was the only thing that actually pissed me off about the comics. But like the rest of it is terrible in a way that I laugh at. It's fun. But yeah, don't do more of that. I don't buy this stuff. I find other alternatives to learn what happened. You don't get any money from my cringe.
Reasonable. Speaking of cringe, though, the Shazam 2 panel. Well, the Shazam 2 announcement, I should say. It wasn't a panel.
It didn't answer any questions. Really.
Well, it was a sketch that was just badly done. It was so awkward. But Shazam 2 is happening, guys.
I'm gonna say I guess I can try and appreciate DC trying to vary up the kinds of heroes they do, but the issue that the hole or the rut they've kind of dug themselves for Shazam is he's such a modern humor kind of character that literally his humor is dated between the release of the trailer and the release of the movie. By the time, like, they could edit the trailer to have like new jokes, things that are literally just memes that are just popping out onto the internet. By the time the movie comes out, every single last one of those references will be just out of everyone's mind.
Yep.
And not even retro yet.
Yeah. It was unfortunate. Not that the movie was bad. It was a good movie.
Shazam, the first movie was just fine. It's just I don't really know how often they're going to be able to keep the type of humor going, the type of characterization going.
Well, I mean that's what happens when you get, old dudes writing your scripts for your young hip kids movies.
Yeah,
you get that
kind of shit. Those are references.
Yeah.
Those are references,
in
right?
2019, right?
Yeah. Yo, hey, let's have him talk about how much he loves Harry Potter.
Yeah, that'll go over well now.
Nothing's gonna be controversial from that kind of statement.
Woo!
And you want to know the best part? Me saying this is gonna be dated by the time this is out, so it'll be perfect.
By Friday?
Yeah, no, by Friday. It's Monday right now, and literally this news will be old news, and we'll move on to canceling somebody else by like tomorrow.
Probably. Oh man. But speaking of Shazam, Black Adam movie.
I'd look more for that than Shazam.
No, I am too. I mean, Dwayne Johnson is really, really hyping this movie up. Like, he has put his all into making this movie happen. I appreciate that, Dwayne Johnson.
He's bringing that old WWE hype man kind of stuff in. He knows what he's doing.
So going into the event on August 22nd, we knew that a Black Adam movie was being planned. We really didn't know anything about it other than that Dwayne Johnson was attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
They released some information. Since the script isn't technically done, they haven't even started shooting yet, and obviously because pandemic. Also, Dwayne Johnson caught the coronavirus, so
yeah, no, that's really rough. But here's, I mean,
he's pretty fit. So
on the bright side, yeah, if anyone's going to survive it, that man's physique is going to. But on the other hand, since he's caught it, there's a good chance his physique will never be the same now because his lungs and heart might actually have irreparable damage. Not major, but enough that he might honestly have it. Like, it might honestly be an Andre the Giant situation where he's not. It's nothing debilitating. He's not going to like die within a month. But he might have to slow it down, like Andre during the Princess Bride was not the wrestler people knew him as.
He was a lot slower during that. And we can hope that doesn't happen to him. We can hope. I hope nothing but the best for Dwayne Johnson.
Oh yeah,
I hope-
no. I'm just bringing that up as like I don't want people to. I want people to like kind of maybe be nice if Black Adam isn't quite what they expected, or like if things with Dwayne aren't as upbeat or high energy as we're
Don't
used
be
to.
surprised if maybe some things that he would normally do himself gets done by a stunt team.
Yeah, just don't hold it against him if there's a bit more CGI parts, or like if he needs to take kind of longer breaks.
Yeah.
Just don't.
But-
If you don't see him in every single summer blockbuster, every single time, don't mock him. Don't say, "Hey, are you losing your step?" He's a good guy. He doesn't deserve this. It's rough.
Yeah, we both want this movie to be good. I'm really excited for it. I know John's excited for it.
I love Dwayne Johnson,
and
so
we want Dwayne Johnson to do it, and we want him to be as best as he can possibly be. And if that means the movie's even delayed by a bit more than it already is, fine. We'll wait. We'll wait comfortably. It's gonna have the Justice Society in it.
You know,
Very happy to see that.
Again, I'm interested. I love the Justice Society. I just hope they don't make them into just the Watchmen, but DC approved. I don't want.
I don't think they're going to do that.
But no, but here's like kind of the like kind of upsetting thing about that is I feel the Justice Society would be so much better if the Justice League movie with all the prerequisite movies from all the members had already come out, so we can actually get a real feel for where these Justice Society members are mirrors, but evil or wrong from their mainland counterparts.
Yep. But unfortunately, DC does not understand how to do this. Apparently,
DC
I think they're going back to
understand
single movies. I think they're just going back to single franchises instead of one combined franchise.
I mean, it might as well.
Fair enough. Yeah. Wonder Woman 84. We got a little bit more information about. It's definitely got Cheetah, and it's definitely got Maxwell Lord.
Yep.
So for everyone out there who grew up reading comics in the early 2000s, we can all look forward to Pedro Pascal getting his neck snapped at some point.
Yeah, you get. I wonder if Gal Gadot's gonna be like real excited for that.
Well, I mean, the movie's shot already. It's done. It's just
I wonder if she was.
somehow.
I mean, that was Wonder Woman's. I don't know if you want to call it an accomplishment, but it was something she did.
I thought it was an accomplishment because I thought Maxwell Lord was a dick.
I mean, he was a dick, but Wonder Woman doing it wasn't compassionate or in character at all.
Really make a lot of sense. Oh, but actually, I can show this off right now because I'm reading this right now. Oh, fuck, where is it? Hold on. Cut to me just showing it. Me in the future. He's back.
Hey! I mean, he already kind of came back during The Blackest Night. But I mean, hey, he's back again!
He's been back multiple times, but now he's back as a regular in Wonder Woman's ongoing, which I am currently on top of as of recording this. Probably won't be by the end of the week, but we'll see about that if I can get to the comic book store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the cover is a complete lie, by the way. He's actually not evil in that issue. he's actually like being framed in that issue.
Look, we all know that comic book covers lie to you to get you to pick them up. That's
constantly. But yeah, I think they should straight up just push Wonder Woman 84 back to next year, if only because next year is Wonder Woman's 80th anniversary.
Mm.
And it
wouldn't be a bad idea, but
right, celebrate the 80th anniversary with a big movie release. Like that sounds good to me.
Yeah, not only that, but it'll be a lot bigger when people aren't like cooped up in their homes.
Hopefully, right?
I mean, Wonder Woman rides lightning bolts in this movie. That's the exact kind of like comic amazing stupidity we want to see. You might as well wait to make sure everyone can enjoy it as much and as constantly as possible. It's so
fucking cool looking.
Comic stupidity. It's surprisingly in line for how the Greeks described how like their gods and demigods functioned.
Right.
It's like it's great.
I am nothing but hyped for that movie. What else? Apparently, we're getting a season 3 of Titans. Why?
Just move on from that. We're not getting into that.
I got some sneak peeks at we got some sneak peeks at Flash season 7, but none of the other Arrowverse shows came with sneak peeks. Weird. I don't know. I like Flash. It's all right. I mean, it's.
I'll be honest. I really haven't watched Flash ever since Dr. Paradox kind of did his thing, and they did they did the Flashpoint series, and I'm just like, I mean, that was kind of the high point for the Barry Allen Flash. So
I think they handled Flashpoint better than the comic did. It made more sense, at least.
I mean, yeah. Well, that's what they kind of do with these live-action gritty.
No! Don't say that, because Arrow, just all of Arrow.
Look. I don't watch Arrow, so I don't know.
Good. I
don't know what you're referencing.
I hear this for the first time, people. I hate Arrow with a passion. I hate that show. I can't finish it because every time I try, I end up yelling at my TV screen. Like, I can't do it. I hate it.
I don't like Green Arrow particularly as a character, but like, why do you hate the show so strongly, sir?
Well, maybe you'll like it because it's not at all Green Arrow, the character.
Oh, it's not? Well, okay, then maybe I won't mind.
They turned Oliver Queen, and they made him Bruce Wayne.
I mean, isn't that what Oliver Queen was? He was just a Batman ripoff, except a communist instead of.
Yes, but you're right. Maybe I shouldn't have said. What I should have said was they turned Green Arrow and they made him Batman.
Okay, fair. Yeah, no, fair. There.
That pisses me off to no end. And that was right at the era where every DC comic was getting like, ooh, we're so dark, we're so serious, we're just like Batman. And then the show comes out.
DC was becoming the Batman company. They might as well change the DC to the Batman logo.
Yeah, they might as well have at that point in history. And I hate Arrow. I hate it so much. I can't think of a single character they did right. They did Clock King perfect. They did Clock King perfectly right.
Did they have Gorilla Grodd?
No, Flash did Gorilla Grodd.
Oh, all right then.
And they did Gorilla Grodd perfectly. I mean, other than the fact that it looks like TV CG. Other than that problem, it was fine. It was Gorilla Grodd through and through. It's just they didn't have the to make it look.
Okay.
Yeah. So I might as well just go through just very quick opinions on the rest of the Arrowverse shows. I like Supergirl just fine until like season, was it 4 or 5 that it gets kind of crappy, but like everyone agrees on that. Legends of Tomorrow is the stupidest thing I've ever watched, and I love every second of it. Rip Snart, by the way. Snart was the best character.
Rip Snart.
Right? Love Snart. They did Captain Cold so fucking good, and then they killed him.
Yeah,
and I was just like, you motherfuckers. And then Black Lightning and Batwoman I still have not seen.
I've seen Batwoman.
Is it worth watching? I'm gonna do it eventually, but is it worth watching?
Okay, so it's worth watching in the sense that Gotham High was worth watching for me. So
all right.
Yeah, so okay, so you know how you were saying old white guys usually tend to be the ones writing this stuff? Okay, take an old white guy trying to write a young feminist woman lesbian.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're like, here's the thing. I say that they drop all that information within the first 20 minutes of the first episode. So that gives you an idea of the character progression we have going on this show.
Great.
You get an idea that she's powerful and strong because she says so. We don't really get to see it all that often. And the main antagonist, okay, so the main antagonist is basically, you know, the Mad Hatter?
Yes.
Well, the Mad Hatter can't exist without Alice in Wonderland, right?
Yes.
But the actual, like, DC version of Alice that they actually made for the Mad Hatter to inspire, like, the guy, let's just take her and make her the Joker. And, surprise twist, she's the sister to Batwoman. Hey, come back, I'm not done, come back, I'm not done.
Alright, fine.
They also revealed this twist at the end of the first episode. So it's a show that's supposed to be about one of the greatest detectives, or one of the greatest teams of detectives. Technically, it's not Batman. Where there's no mystery. The character is a complete plank of wood who the Wikipedia article describing their personality is basically the best means for you to learn their personality, not watching the show. And they're trying to get major brownie points with the modern, like the young, modern, hip crowd. And their idea of doing that is to just bulldoze every like thing, every like little check mark they got right in the first 20 minutes, and then kind of just have it fall by the wayside and have her act no different from how Batman in the Dark Knights act, except you already know that she's a lesbian and a feminist and all this kind of stuff because they told you in episode 1.
Oh no.
And yeah, it is so cringe. It is so cringe. I will say it's hilarious because the woman they cast as Batwoman is not, unlike Gal Gadot, who, got in shape for the role of Wonder Woman, did not get in shape at all. She has the physique of a 15-year-old boy. So seeing all these, like, grown-ass stuntmen boxing with this woman who apparently was supposed to have tried to be a Marine at one point, and watching her, like, knock them out with single gut punches or, like, a single jaw punch is, like, that's more unbelievable than the whole Batman gadget gallery.
Well, that's disheartening.
Like, if you hate Arrow for making Green Arrow into Batman, you're gonna hate this show just because it's taking Batman and recycling it as a woman.
I mean,
or money.
I love Batwoman the character.
Batwoman the character. She's not in this. She's not in this.
Batwoman, I know. That's what I'm getting out of this.
It's the wig. It's the wig. It's Batman in the red wig.
It's just the wig.
It's not.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I love. Look, I just want to show you guys. This is just. I mean, if you haven't read this, not only is this one of my favorite comics of all time, this is my introduction to Batwoman. She's like one of the best parts of this, and that's so sad to hear that that's what they did. That's so disheartening. And that's why I'm going to start watching it tonight. I love this. I love cringe like this. But this is gonna hurt. And that's okay. I mean, I still keep trying to watch Arrow. So like, oh yeah, and then there's Stargirl, which came out this year actually. Which I think is fantastic. I think Stargirl was superbly done. I mean, it's another like high school teenagers superhero kind of thing, but it cuts out on most of the drama, most of the high school drama, and sticks to just the actual superheroing, at least in season 1. And it has some of the best shot action of all of the Arrowverse shows.
That's actually impressive sounding.
Like, Arrow, especially season 1 Arrow, was shot horribly. This sucks. And then you go to Stargirl, and they're doing these unbelievably beautiful choreographed fights in one perfect take, and it's just so nicely balanced, and everyone moves, and everyone gets good hits off, and it's just, where the fuck was this before? This is incredible. You can't go back after that. It makes everything that came before it look like trash. even its CG is not that bad. Like,
Wow, that's actually impressive.
I looked at the behind the scenes stuff. The cosmic staff that Stargirl uses, I thought that was a real prop. No, that's almost completely CG.
That's actually impressive.
It looks so real. They did a great job. That show is well, and it's well acted, and the writing is not bad. Like, there's a couple of really annoying points, but obviously because it's TV writing, and they have to somehow drag everything out to 13 episodes, even though some things could be resolved in one.
Mm-hmm.
They got to drag it out, so it's a plot thread. But it's a well handled show, and I really hope it gets season 2 because it wasn't announced at this. But that's something I hope gets a season 2 because it's so well done, and it got streamed on DC Universe first before going on TV.
Oh, that's good.
Anything that keeps DC Universe alive, because I think that streaming site is actually really good, and I use it a lot. And I'm willing to pay for it.
Too many streaming services for me.
I agree, but this is one that's my niche, and I share a bunch of stuff with other people, so I can spare it.
Just sometimes you get things in these streaming services you regret, like, you know, that other feminist movie that will not be named, or feminist movie that will not be named on a certain streaming service.
Wait, you say which one not to be named, but I'm actually trying to remember which one you're talking about.
It's hard because I was referencing Mulan.
Oh yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, no.
I was worried about that one.
That movie. That's not even cringe. That's just a terrible movie.
I still haven't seen it, and I don't want to.
I don't want to. Just watch the animated version. It is literally better in every single way.
If I can find it for free, I'll watch it. But if I can't, I'm not going to do it. I'm not paying $30. Are you shitting me, Disney? Are you shitting me right now? The most expensive movie ticket I can get around here is $15.
Look,
that's the most I would pay to go to a movie theater. I'm not paying $30 for that.
I'll pay $30 if they give me all 3 Lord of the Rings extended.
Yes,
I'd pay $30 for that. I'm not paying $30 for another shitty live action remake.
Fuck that. Fuck you. Fucking greedy as shit. Anyway, throw Disney out of your mind because fuck that shit. There's only like 2 more things I want to talk about before we close this episode because this is going on really long. They let for both days. So I only watched it once because I didn't have time the first day. They let people on the fandom watch the new Superman animated movie for free, all the way through.
Wow.
Which is Superman: Man of Tomorrow, and solid movie. The animation is a little choppy because I mean I'm used to these animated movies that look fucking gorgeous, and this one looks a little bit less than that, but it still looks really nice, and the character design is what really makes it look good. Nothing goes off model, which even though it gets choppy at times, it all looks very consistent. Parasite looking real good.
I love
like
Parasite.
Dinosaur. He looks like a dinosaur in this one. It's awesome. Lobo is in it. It's just fantastic. If this was live action, it'd be average. Because it's animated, it's better. It's better than that. It's a solid movie. I recommend going out and find Superman: Man of Tomorrow. Solid movie.
I might try and do that now because I got stuff to do.
It's not long. It's less than an hour and a half. So it's pretty breezy. It's basically like taking on Superman Year One. That's
not too bad.
Which is pretty cool. Speaking of early years of superheroing, the Batman. Yes, that is really what they're going with. The Suicide Squad and the Batman.
I remember the Batman animated series. No, not the 90s. The one where Batman was called the Batman for some reason.
The one that was literally called the Batman. I love to hate that show.
How dare you? That one, I liked that show. Like, unironically, I really liked that show.
It's not bad, but there is some really, that's the call you made. Come on, coming right off the heels of the Batman the Animated Series, they made some odd choices.
Yeah, I'll give you that, but on its own.
No, it is a good show. You're right. It is a good show, but I love to hate on it.
Fair.
Good stuff. But no, we're talking about Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Right, yeah.
Pattinson.
Yeah, Vampire Boy becoming Batman now.
Quite frankly, he's already sold me on doing this movie.
Oh yeah, no. I'm doing that just to get on the just to get the bandwagon joke out of the way. Like Robert Pattinson as an actor, I think he's just good. He's good. Like in Lighthouse, he was great.
Oh, God, yeah.
I know he. What? You got robbed? You think of an award?
Yeah. You should have won awards for that.
Yeah, and I know it was very brief, and he was only a side character. But Cedric Diggory, he did probably better than any other actor I can think of. So I know that Twilight, like, it was literally a problem of poor direction and poor plot and poor character.
Twilight was a stain on his career, and he admits it. And he
no. I love that he loves to make fun of that movie series. It's great.
I'm just glad he was able to bounce back after it because I mean, for most other people in that series, that was a career killer.
It was their death.
Case 2 are the only people to have like survived that, and he survived it by going underground for years.
Yeah. No one else really came out of that thing unscathed. But no, it is good. Like as Batman, I will say, I'm glad he's not using one of those stupid just like voice changers. Like he's actually trying to make Bruce Wayne and Batman sound different. It's not as extreme as Christian Bale's, but like it's also not zero effort. Like some actors did. I'm being too mean on him. I'm aware of that. He's from Boston. He can fucking take it.
Yes. It looks really solid. It's got a very healthy array of villains for this new movie. They got an early Catwoman. They got the Riddler's going to be in it. They got the Falcone crime family back again for another movie. It's weird. It's weird that the crime family, which if you read the comics, you go years and years and years without even remembering them, but they get 2 movies and a TV show.
It's even weirder though because I can't name any individual family members. It's just the family.
It's the family.
They just exist to give like faceless henchmen for Batman to punch.
I think Carmine Falcone is like the only one I can think of.
Well, yeah, but like he's no like freaking mob boss like of the ages. No one remembers Carmine as like, oh yeah, he was one of the better ones. It's like, oh yeah, the Falcones. I know them.
They're part of the Batman mythos. We could put
I'm just glad that they're giving Riddler his time as like a post Batman and Robin Riddler, his chance at being a Batman villain. Just because I feel like the Riddler is probably one of the better choices for a detective Batman type movie, which is something I desperately want. I desperately want like some good, clever fighting, good, clever crimes. Like The Dark Knight had a really great like ultimatum kind of thing. I want them to get that kind of stuff more. It's
looking like that. The interviews that we got with the director, he's definitely saying that that's the direction that he wants the movie to be in. And I'm very happy with that. It's also going to be tied in with a new TV show called Gotham PD. By the way, wonderful time to announce that, by the way.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Everyone loves cops so much that Law and Order SVU is actually losing viewership.
I mean, Lucifer's still doing good. We could...
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Watch Lucifer. It's the greatest fantasy show ever. You can pretend for 50 minutes that the LAPD actually does something good.
You just have to imagine that the literal fucking devil is there with them.
the devil working with the LAPD is not the hard part. It's them actually doing their jobs correctly is the hard part to believe.
Yeah.
But I love that show though, so I will eat it up.
Yeah, I just want a superhero detective story. Is that so bad? Can we just have House MD but with superheroes, please? I want to have like a really like a character who studies superheroes and or like superpower beings, and so is able to solve crimes based upon what powers are available or not available to them. That would be a really cool, fun thing to do.
That would be awesome. So, yeah, that's your lot for this week. There's a lot.
Yeah, there you go, like nearly 2 hours.
Sorry about that, because I know most people hate when these videos go that long. But we can't get ourselves to shut up sometimes. And you know, we have fun doing these, and that's what matters. But yeah, I'll make this outro really short. We will see you guys in the next one.
Where are you going? Okay.